All right, let's talk about your brain on overdrive. We're going to get into why we worry so much and, more importantly, how we can finally learn to hit the brakes.
You know that feeling when your mind is just a runaway horse and you're just desperately hanging on for dear life as it drags you through all these panicked thoughts? Yeah, I think we all know that one a little too well. Well, it turns out that runaway horse isn't just running wild. It's got a driver. And that driver is a super ancient, deeply wired alarm system in your brain. Its only job? To keep you alive. So, over the next few minutes, we're going to break down exactly how this really old school system can totally hijack your modern brain and turn, a simple bit of stress into a complete five-alarm fire. But hey, we're not just going to leave you there. We are absolutely going to give you the reins back. We'll walk through some clear, scientifically backed ways to calm that horse and finally get back in the driver's seat of your own mind. Okay, so first things first, let's pop the hood and look at the hardware. To really get why we worry, we've got to understand how our brains are actually built. And spoiler alert, they're kind of hardwired to lean towards the negative. So there's this thing called the negativity bias. It's basically a survival leftover. I mean, think about it. Our ancestors who freaked out about every rustle in the grass, they were the ones who survived. The result is that today, our brains are basically like Velcro for bad stuff and Teflon for the good stuff. It's exactly why one tiny criticism can completely wipe out the memory of like a dozen compliments, right? Okay, so to make this super simple, let's imagine there's a little play happening inside your head with three main characters. You've got the switchboard, the alarm, and the thinker. So let's meet the cast. First up is the thalamus. That's the switchboard. It's taking in all the sensory info, everything you see, hear, touch. Then you've got the amygdala. That's our super sensitive alarm system, always scanning for danger. And finally, the neocortex. That's the thinker, the logical, rational part of you. Now, ideally, these three would be best friends, working in perfect harmony. But yeah, that's not usually how it goes down. And this is where it gets really interesting. Because that alarm system, the amygdala, it has a secret shortcut, a sort of backdoor. And this is what the psychologist Daniel Goleman famously called the amygdala hijack. Okay, so check this out. Here's how the hijack happens. Let's say a stressful email from your boss pops up. That info hits your switchboard, the thalamus, and it immediately sends a signal down two roads at the same time. The fast track goes straight to your alarm, the amygdala, which just starts blaring, fight or flight, now. But the slow track signal, the one that goes to your rational thinker, the neocortex, it takes a few extra milliseconds. And by the time your thinker calmly goes, hey, hang on, it's just an email, it's way too late. The hijack has already happened. So, it all boils down to one thing: speed. Your emotional brain, the amygdala, is basically running on ancient caveman software. Its only question is, do I eat it or does it eat me? It's incredibly fast, totally automatic. Your thinking brain, on the other hand, is slow, careful, deliberate. The hijack is inevitable, really, because the fast brain always gets a head start. And this old school wiring, it doesn't just create a one-off panic attack. No, it creates patterns. When your brain gets hijacked over and over, it starts to twist how you see reality. Psychologists have a name for these: cognitive distortions, or my favorite, thinking traps. Let me show you a few of the most common glitches in the system. You've got all or nothing thinking. This is where if you're not absolutely perfect, you're a total failure. You eat one spoonful of ice cream and bam, the entire diet is a complete disaster. Or how about mind reading? This is where you just assume you know what people are thinking, and it's usually something bad, right? And here's a really tricky one: emotional reasoning. This is when you believe that just because you feel something, it must be a fact. Like, I feel stupid right now, therefore I am stupid. These are the little mental traps our hijacked brain lays for us. So is that it? Are we just doomed to be run by this faulty, ancient wiring? Well, the good news, the great news actually, from neuroscience is a huge, resounding no. Our brains are amazing. They're flexible. We can actually learn to control the alarm. I love how neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux explains it. He says, what therapy does is teach you how to control it. It teaches your neocortex how to inhibit your amygdala. In other words, we can literally train our thinker to pump the brakes on our alarm. It's all about strengthening that slower, more rational superhighway in our brain. And the research backs this up. It shows we can train specific emotional styles. It's almost like going to the gym for your brain.
You can literally build up your resilience muscle so you bounce back faster from setbacks. You can work on your outlook, your ability to just stay positive. You can improve your self-awareness, just knowing what you're feeling. It's all trainable.
Okay, that all sounds great, but how do we actually do it? Let's get down to brass tacks. There are two really powerful strategies you can use to regain control when that alarm starts blaring.
Okay, so the two big ones are reappraisal and acceptance. Now, they might sound kind of similar, but they are totally different tools for different jobs. Reappraisal is what we call a top-down strategy. You're using your thinking brain to actively change the story. Acceptance, on the other hand, is bottom-up. Instead of changing the thought, you change your relationship to the thought. You just let it be. So think of it this way. Reappraisal is like rewriting the script, while acceptance is like realizing you're just an audience member watching the play.
So, want to try reappraisal? It's a 4-step process. Step 1, just notice the thought. Don't fight it, just see it. Step 2, slap a label on it. Ah, there's that all or nothing thinking again. Step 3, challenge it. Play detective. Is this thought really 100% true? Where's the evidence? And finally, step 4, write a new script. Create a more balanced, realistic thought. So instead of, I'm a total failure, you might say, okay, I messed that up, but here's what I can learn from it. See? You're actively using your thinking. And what about acceptance? This one feels different. Instead of wrestling with the thought, you just acknowledge it. Hello, anxiety, I see you're here. Then you get curious. You just observe it, like you're watching a weird cloud float by in the sky. No judgment. You might even notice where you feel it in your body. The key here is that the goal isn't to get rid of the feeling. The goal is to just not let it grab the steering wheel.
Okay, so if you remember one thing from all of this, let it be this. Your brain's first reaction, that's automatic. It's ancient programming. You can't stop it. But your final response, that is a choice. You get to decide what happens next. The real power isn't about trying to silence that ancient alarm. It's about learning how to hear it and then choosing not to let it drive.